Lucia's new school. The new school sat on Orchard Street, but there wasn't an orchard in sight. Instead, the street looked like the rest of the Lower East Side, an, an immigrant neighborhood in New York City. It was 1909. There were run-down tenements, grimy gutters, strange smells, and more people than Lucia could count. Pushcart vendors made their way through the crowds, hawking their goods. Bread, bratwurst, sweet and spicy bratwurst. A big man bellowed, pickles, 2 cents each. 2 cents each. Striked a skinny lady with a kerchief. Fresh roasted corn coming right up, a boy shouted. Not that Lucia could understand a word. The pushcart vendor spoke in a tongue she didn't understand. Maybe it was English, maybe German or Yiddish, maybe all three. Maybe all three. In any case, Lucia only spoke Italian. She had just arrived in America a few weeks ago. In her first home, a little village in southern Italy, the roads had been plain dirt, surrounded by quiet fields and fruit trees. On windy days, the air smelled of lemons and oranges and the sea, but one day their parents had decided to sell their goats, bundle up their belongings, and board a ship to America. We are living for a better life, Lucia's mother had told her. In America, you will be able to go to school in Italia. For farmers like us, there is only poverty. Lucia was thankful for the opportunity to go to school for the first time back home. The only school had been many miles away. Still, as she walked up the stone steps of Public School 42, she could not help but feel great. The school's long halls and tile floors reminded her of Ellis Island, where she and her family had been expected before being allowed into America. The school nurse checked Lucia's hair for lice. Through nurses at Ellis Island already had. The principal scribbled Lucia's name and classroom number on a split of paper. He handed it to her, then pointed sharply toward the stairs. When Lucia found her new classroom, she took a deep breath before knocking on the door. The teacher answered the door. Class, it seems we have a new student. What is your name? She asked Lucia. Lucia did not understand and shook her head. The teacher sighed impatiently. What is your name? She asked again. Lucia bit her lip. She didn't understand the question any better than before. There were 40 students in the class, all of them watching with wide eyes. When the teacher grabbed the split of paper out of Lucia's shaking hand, they giggled. Her name is Lucia Giordano, the teacher announced as she walked Lucia to a desk at the back of the room. Lucia heard her name and felt her cheeks turn hot with shame as she passed her new classmates. She should have realized that the teacher was asking, but how could she have been sure? It all sounded like nonsense to Lucia's ears. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Everything was in English. The textbook, the writing on the blackboard, the teacher's instructions. English was awful, Lucia decided, with its clunky consonants and ugly sounding vowels all day long. The strange sounds surrounded her like a dark fog. Lucia feared she would never escape. I hate school, she told her parents that night. I don't know anybody and nobody would talk to me. I can't even see the blackboard from where I sit. Not that it matters. I don't have any idea of what's going on because it's all in English. It's the same for me at the brickyard, Lucia's father said. The boss speaks English, so I must learn to speak English. This is a new country, Lucia, and we are going to have to learn its language, her mother said. What for? Lucia asked. Why did we have to leave everything we know for this crowded country and its horrible language? We did this for you, Lucia's father said in a firm voice. In America, you have the chance for a better life. Now finish your dinner. School starts early tomorrow. All week, Lucia did her best to follow along at school, but her confusion continued. She tried asking a classmate for help, but the girl shook her head and looked away. When Friday finally arrived, raced out of the building, eager to escape. She ran so fast, however, that she slipped down the stone steps and banged into another girl. Me, Miss Così, Lucia apologized in Italian before she could stop herself. The words just slipped out. To her surprise, the girl she had bumped into grinned. Tranquil, she replied. You speak Italian, Lucia cried. Of course, the girl replied. My name is Teresa. We moved last summer from Naples. We live on Mulberry Street now. They were still speaking in Italian as they walked together down the street. Are there are there mulberries on your street? Lucia asked. We live on Elizabeth Street, but nobody seems to know who she was. Teresa laughed. Not a mulberry tree in sight, but sometimes I like to sit on the fire escape and pretend I'm at the top of a very tall tree. What a wonderful idea. I would have to try that too, Lucia said. I'm so glad to meet a friend. None of my classmates like me. I tried to ask someone for help today, and she couldn't even look at me. I've never met such unfriendly people before. They're not friendly. They're not unfriendly, Teresa explained. I'm sure they'd like you if they understood you. Look around. All the kids here are immigrants like you and me. Nobody speaks English, not yet anyway. Really, it had occurred to Lucia that others were struggling too. Really, and from all over, Teresa continued. Her Hungary, Poland, Russia is tough to find someone you can talk to. Lucky you bumped into me. Lucia looked around. It was the same busy street as before, but suddenly the bustling Lower East Side looked different. Maybe it was just that Teresa's words had changed the way Lucia saw it. Suddenly, the many languages, the different types of dress and the strange food and the crowded buildings didn't seem so scary or overwhelming. Everyone came here for a better life, just like we did, Lucia said. Everybody probably feels just as alone and afraid as I do. But you're not alone, Teresa said. We can learn English together. Then she grabbed Lucia's hand and said the word again, but in English. Say it with me. Lucia grinned. Together, she said.